I can't believe the timing of this. I literally just recorded an R-Truth video, and then now I'm hearing in real time, I'm seeing on Twitter that apparently he's essentially been released or they're not renewing his contract. I guess his contract is coming up soon, and they're not going to be renewing it. So basically, R-Truth is no longer going to be in the WWE. Hey, all I gotta say is, thank you to R-Truth, and on to the video. Does anybody still find the R-Truth joke funny? The whole John Cena is his childhood hero. I admit, I found it funny the first 30 times, but now that we're on 31, I'm starting to reevaluate this whole situation, and it made me depressed because looking back on his whole WWE career, I realized I can't even really say I'm happy with it. They really had this guy be a comic relief character basically his whole run. And me being a Ron Killings fan, let me tell you something. It's tough being a Ron Killings fan, knowing what he came from in TNA, for example. How exciting this guy is to watch in the ring, but then now I just gotta watch him wrestle as John Cena. Now, R-Truth's like 52 or something like that now, so obviously it's over at this point. Ain't nothing gonna happen now. So now I just gotta sit back, look at the situation for what it is, and reflect and realize that the whole time he was just a punchline. Now, for most people who didn't follow him in TNA or didn't know about him before then, you're probably happy with this. You probably look at R-Truth like, oh, he was funny. He was good entertainment. Yes, R-Truth was funny, but the material he's been given is kind of like, we're getting a lot of the same joke here. The whole R-Truth joke is basically this guy just dumb as hell and oblivious. He thinks Tommaso Ciampa is Triple H. He thinks John Cena is his childhood hero. But wait, how is that possible? Because R-Truth is older than John Cena. Now, R-Truth is funny, like I said. But R-Truth could have been so much more than this. Ugh. And again, this takes me back to back in the day before he even ended up in WWE. You had the landscape of WWE versus TNA. And all the WWE fans, you'd often hear, I want to see this guy in WWE. If they were from another promotion. In this case, it was TNA back then. And people who knew better knew to question why would you do that? Like, I don't know how we haven't learned by now. Anything that is good that happened outside the WWE, as soon as people ask for it to be replicated in the WWE, it's never as good. Let's take Broken Matt Hardy, for example. TNA with their whole final deletion thing, which was kind of a little revival of awareness since TNA was already past its like prime at that point. But when that whole Broken Matt Hardy thing and Brother Nero stuff was going on, everybody was talking about that. It was a very exciting moment for TNA. Then what happens? WWE gets Matt Hardy, turns him into Woken Matt Hardy, nowhere near as good. But we keep doing this. We keep asking for it I say we, it's you guys. You keep asking for this every time, and it never works out. In my opinion, peak AJ Styles wasn't WWE either. But at least his run wasn't terrible, so people are kind of just like okay with it because maybe they didn't see that either. But back on R-Truth, like I was saying, in-ring, super exciting to watch. This guy was definitely championship worthy of at least something semi-serious, but we just missed it. Now, obviously, a lot of this was McMahon era. For the Triple H defenders out there, they both have their problems. I don't give a fuck. Like, people white knight for Triple H pretty hard out here, I noticed. It's like, sure. I still stand by, I think it was in 2011, R-Truth should have beat John Cena for the championship. What was it? Capital Punishment? Whatever pay-per-view it was. They could have just gave it to him. The way how, back then especially, how titles were changing hands and there was more value in being a repetitive champion rather than the length of the reign. Why couldn't they give it to R-Truth just for a little bit? Is R-Truth really that funny? Like, was it all worth it? To sacrifice everything that he, like all his talents just to be a joke, a punchline? Historically speaking, in WWE, who is even the funniest character? Because I feel like the way how WWE does funny, nowadays, it's not even like, it's really low-hanging fruit humor when I think about it. R-Truth is funny, who else is comedy? Tozawa, there's Santino, Goldust back in the day. Like, a lot of these people had some great moments, but it's like, I don't know, man. It is rough to see. Obviously, he can still go now. He's still in great shape. But the fact is, pushing someone at 52, even though I'm not this guy who says, like, oh, this person's too old, he shouldn't be pushed. Because you do got to focus on the young talent, obviously. So at this point, I'm willing to just accept that it's over. And it's just a damn shame that this is what his career was. I think he even spoke on this a little bit, too, himself. I don't remember his exact words, but he was being interviewed by somebody. And he was speaking a little bit about it, showing some regret, it seemed. So what that tells me is basically he was just kind of pigeonholed into that role. So I guess creative or whoever, both McMahon and Triple H saw him and said, hey, I like you as that. This is what you're going to be. But in this case, I can't even put all the blame on creative because when it comes to anybody being frustrated within the company, it's like motherfuckers be re-signing anyway. So it's like, okay, well, I don't know what you thought was going to happen different this time. But anyhow. Or you know what would be a good series? They want to show all the behind the scenes. I want to see what is being said to finesse some of these talents into re-signing a contract. Because they must be saying the slimiest shit to try and butter some of these people up into thinking that they're about to get like a chance, and then nothing gets done with them, and then they end up being budget cut in some cases. Because there's certain people. I went off on somebody earlier, and it was in my wrestlers I like and dislike tier list or whatever. And somebody came up, and I called him out for why he would resign because I thought it was a stupid decision. Again, not to make decisions for some of these people, but I ended up being right because that guy ended up getting budget cut. So it's like, I don't know, some people just live the letters WWE. Nothing can be done with them. They'll just put up with the shit and disrespect thrown at them. For what reason? I don't know. I guess they'd rather be in obscurity, but be under the contract and say that they're in WWE when they're not really being featured, rather than being in another company where they could be having better exposure than they're getting anyway and still be making decent money. I don't understand that, but I'm not going to get into that. That's their decisions, whatever. All I gotta say is this R-Truth thing is depressing. Also, I see people, I don't know why this is a thing, but I see people out here confused about R-Truth's hair. He's balding. If people remember Mark Henry when he had braids and then suddenly he just shaved it all off, this is what was starting to happen to him. So that's all that is. You're welcome. Become informed. Man, R-Truth really signed with WWE, wrestled for about 20 seconds before being put with The Miz, and then eventually started seeing invisible people, the little jimmies and shit. Then got dementia and kayfabe. Imagine, I don't think some of you understand. Imagine someone you like right now that's badass, if that's their thing. Let's pretend you like Braun Breaker right now. Imagine just tomorrow, from this day forth, they just stop him from doing all the cool shit he does in the ring. All the hype just disappears. And then now he's just comic relief for the next 30 years. That's how depressing this is to think about. Now, I hate ending videos on a bad note, but you're going to sit here and feel this with me. Hell, people right now think John Cena is tarnishing his legacy with this heel run. That's a whole different set of problems. That's just WWE creative sabotaging the product because you're supposed to hate the heel. So that's a whole different thing. I can't believe... I'm not going to get into that. Whatever. Are you feeling this with me? Oh, this is... Whew, shit. I can't believe this. I can't be the only one that feels this way. If you think R-Truth had an amazing career, let me know in the comments. I still remember his TNA stuff way more fondly because, again, more hype things happened. But anyway, some people do watch wrestling just for like the non-wrestling aspects of it. So if you made you laugh, I guess I'm happy for you. I laughed too, but I'm crying now. Anyways, I'm going to go listen to Cat's Eye Gnarly to cancel out my feelings because that shit goes pretty hard low-key. It doesn't go hard on the promo or on the mic, but it's pretty legit in the ring. Anyways, I'm out.